Hello, my friends. Today we're learning Bob Bastra Daf Gimel Amud Aleph. We're starting a new Perek Amoiches Asfina. We finished last year Perek Amoiches Abayis. Let's go. So the Mishnah continues with the same sugis we were learning before about someone who sells something, and the question is, what does it include in the sale? So someone who Moiches Asfina, someone who sells a ship, what does that include? It says a Mishnah Mocha es HaTorah, and that's a stick that holds up the big curtains to make the ship move. There's a nace, that's the curtains that's on it. The Gemara is going to explain all this. There's a ugnim, is what you put in the water, the big metal piece to hold the ship not to move. There's a manigin, is the sticks to that you paddle you push the water that the ship should go. Not the slaves that work on the ship, not the places and the assets of the ship, all the gold and whatever you have in the ship, and where you store it, that's not sold. I'm selling you the ship and all what's in it. Even the things that are not, we said are not sold, will be sold. Says a Gemara, Torah. And what does Torah mean? Torah means iskiria. It's the big stick that stands up at the ship, and on that you put the cloth to make it move. We see in the pasuk Erez miLevonoin lokhu. They took a Erez. It's a big tree from the country Levonoin. Lasis Torah lecha. So we could see you need a big tree for that. Nace is adra, like we explained, the cloth that you put. Forgot the words in English for it. So we can see it's made from cloth, and it's a cloth that you put on the Torah, and you stretch them against the wind, and then the ship gets pulled. Ugin Tony Rabchia Elu Ugunim Shelo. That it's what you put in the ocean to that the ship shouldn't move. It's like a metal piece with a long metal chain. We see in the pasuk we can see the lotion of aginus. Aguna, someone who can't get married, is the same thing. She's stuck, and also here, so it means it's stuck, makes the ship stuck and not move. Manigim Amar Rabba ele mashoitim shelo, the mashoitim that make the you push the ship along. From another pasuk, anyone who catches a moshoit. So we can see that this is what it means. Someone who sells the ship, mocha is a skila. The skila is the ladder that you go up and down from the ship. There's the well of water, the boil of water, that's sweet water because you can't drink from the seawater, it's salty. Bitzis is a small ship, a small boat, or like that you have on a big boat to get to the side of the water, because sometimes the big one can't get, it's too deep in the water, it's going to crash if you take it to the side of the water of the river, so you have a small one connected. It's also a small boat, and Omarova Bitzis Ainu Dugis, it's the same. Rab Nosson Bavlo that comes from Bovel, Avakorli Butzis, the Amrinchi, like people say Butzi, also the Miyashon. Miyashon was a river that wasn't a very big river, so they only had small boats in it. So Botiasa the Miyashon means the small boat of Miyashon, so we could see in Bovel, Botiasa is a lotion of a small boat. Sumchus, the Eretz Yisrael, Korilo Dugis, like the small boat that you go fishing with, in small boat that you go fishing. Omar Rabba. Now we're going to have a bunch of agadata about people who are going down in the ocean. Omar Rabba Ishtoilu, they told me a story, Nechuteyama, people who go into the ocean. The wave, the matbel esfina that normally wants to sink a ship. Mischazi looks like it looks like a white fire, and Rashbam explains that's like a shade that's on top of the wave, Bereisha at the top. And the way we fight it, we hit it with sticks. The chokikole that's on these sticks is written we hit it with these sticks that says on it the name, these this psukim, and then we managed to conquer the wave that shouldn't sink us. Omar Rabba says, Rabba Ishtoilu Nuchuti Yama, the people from who go down in the sailors told me, Bengala legala, between wave and wave, these big waves, plasma parsa, there's a distance of 300 parsa. Baruma, the gala, and the height of the gala is plasma parsa is so high as 300 parsa. Zimne Chada, one time, Avaz Linen Baruch, we were going in the ocean, the Dalinen Gala Adich, and a wave threw us up into there. Adich Hazinan Beimarbasta, the Kuch Bezuta, we saw the size of a small star. The Ave, and it was the size Kemizbar Arbroim Gyuri Bezra de Chardalo. It's so big, like where you grow 40 saw of Chardal. The Idalin on Tfei, if you'd throw us higher up into the ocean, Ave Maklin and Meeble would get burned from the heat of the star. Romile Gala Kola Lechavre, and we heard one wave telling the other wave, Chavirti, my friend, Shavkas Lemidi Baalma de Lo Shatfe, did you leave anything that you didn't destroy the Nisi Anot Benavde? I want to leave me something. Omale, so this wave answered, Puk Chazi, come and see Gvur to the Morech, see the power of our master, Kodesh Baruch Hu. Mole Chuta Chala, Veloy Avri. We're so big, our waves, and at the end of the ocean there's a little line of sand, and we can't pass that sand of land. Shenema says in the Apostle, Ka'oisilo Turonu Mashem, are you not scared for me? You're not afraid for me. I put a little sand at the end of the ocean, and the ocean can't continue, even though that the ocean's so powerful, it stops over there. So you're not and who did that? Hashem. So you're not afraid from Hashem. Omar Rabba, Ledidi Chazili, I've seen Hurmin Barlilis, it's a type of shade. Kikuroi Takufa the Shura de Mechoza, when it was running on the borders of the Choima, the place called Mechoza, Veroid Parasha Kirochiv Chayusa, and the other rider riding a horse very fast, Mitote underneath him. He didn't know, the guy who's riding the horse didn't have no idea about this shade. And the shade was running quicker on the Choima than this guy on the horse. One time, Abba Masargaloi Tarte Kundinaisi. There were two produce, it's a type of animal, on two bridges. They came on and Gimel on base at Turikishri, and they were on two bridges. The Rungag, it's a place. The Shavar on this shade jumped, we jumped from one bridge to another bridge in one leap. And this shade had two cups of wine in his hand, and he was pouring from one to one, from one cup to the other one, and from back and forwards, and one drop didn't fall to the ground. And it was a very windy day that day. It was a day that the Pasuk says that such a type of day, Yalu Shemaim Yerdu Toimois. It was very, very windy, and Afilu he managed to pour the cups of wine without pouring them. At the Shomubi Malchusa, the kingdom of the Shadim heard that this shade is exposing himself, the Kotlu, and they killed the shade. Some people explain that it means that the kingdom, the physical kingdom they heard about the shade, killed him because they were scared from him. Omar Rabba, Ledidi Chosdili, I've seen Ruzila Bar Yoima. Ruzila is called a Re'im. It's called a dinosaur or something, some type of big animal that used to exist in the past. That was one day old. The Ave Kehar Tover was so big, like the size of the mountain Tover. Said the Gemara, Ba'ar Tover Kama, how big is our Tover? Ave Arba Parsis, it's 4 parsis big. Umashacha the Tovore, and the length of his neck, Tlose parsu, or 3 parsu. Beimar Ba'asa the ratio, the place where he puts his head on the ground when he sleeps, parsu pal goes half, parsu and a half. Roma Kufta, it pooped, and his poop was so big, the Sokal Yarden, it blocked, it made like a dam to the river Yarden until the river managed to break through the poop, but it was so big. I've seen this frog. The Aveleki Akra da Agruna, it was like the castle of Agruna. Says the Gemara of Akra da Agruna Kama, how big is the castle of Agrunia? Says the Gemara, Shitin Boti is the size of 60 houses. This frog was the size of 60 houses. Osatan Nina came a crocodile, Bolo swallowed this frog. Auto push cancer, it's a type of raven, Bolo Latanina, and swallowed the crocodile, the solik, and it flew, Yosef Beilona, and it landed on a branch on a tree. Says the Gemara, Tochozi Nafish Chele Dilona, see how strong the branches of the tree is, they could hold such a big weight. Omar Papa Bar Shmuel lo yavoy awesome lo yimni. If I wasn't there and I saw the story as it happened, I wouldn't believe it because it sounds so incredibly, say, not real. Omar Abba Bar Chana Zimni Chad one time Abba Kozlin Bisfinoso, we're going in a ship, the Chazina na Ukabra. We saw this fish, the Asvele Ochlotina Buusia. So he was eating something, and a little sherrit, a little fly went into his nose and killed him. And once a fish is killed, what happens is the ocean pushes it out. The water pushed this big fish out. The shadiu leguda on the side. The chorv was such a big fish. The 60 areas got destroyed because of this big fish. And this fish was so big, 60 different areas ate the meat of the fish was so much. 60 different areas that were further away that they couldn't eat the meat straight away. They salted the meat and they took it with them. And they filled from one eyeball of this fish, 300 garbe de 300 like bottles of oil. When we came back over there after 12 months, Shata Chazinan, we saw the Abekomansuri Migarme, they were cutting from its bones, metaltila, the beams, to build the places where it destroyed. To build these places that this fish destroyed. It was such a big fish. Rabba Barbachana said, one time we were going in a ship, the Chazinan Au Kavri. We saw this fish, we didn't know it was a fish, like we're going to see in the story. It was such a big fish, it had sand on its back, and on the sand some branches started to grow, like stuff that grow on the sand. We thought it's an island. And we went off the boat, and we started making a barbecue and cooking and baking. Agabe on its back, when suddenly he felt the fire on its back, the fish, he turned over. If not our ship were close by, and we would sink. One time, we were going on a ship, and the ship was going on the fins. The fish had two fins, one at the front and one on the back, and we were riding. So the fish was so big that to get from one fin to the other fin, from the back from the tail of the fish to the front of the fish, the Kabra Klasse Hayomi Klasse Leila took us 3 days and 3 nights. We were going with the wind, with the way of the wind, and he was going against the wind. So we were going. It should take even quicker to get from side to side when two people are going opposite directions. But here it still took 3 days and 3 nights. Maybe you're going to say, okay, we had a slow ship. When Rav Dimi came, he said, it was such a quick ship that when the time that it takes to warm up a kettle, Damia, Maskia, the Maya of water, Maskia, shitting past, this ship would go 60 past, a very quick ship. V'shadi parsha gira v'kodma. If someone would throw an arrow, the ship would go quicker than the arrow. It was a very quick ship. V'kodma. V'omar Avashi o gilda diama. But this type of fish was a gilda diama that has the islet trei shitzi that has 2 fins, and it's a smaller fish. The big fish that has only 1 fin. Imagine how big that fish is. V'omar Abba Barbarchana zimni chada. One time Abba Azdin b'sfinos, we were going on the ship. V'chavina utipora. We saw this bird that came at Kartule B'maya, and it was until its Kartulaim in the water, until the bottom part of the leg was in the water. Bereisha Berekia, and its head was in the sky. Vermin and Lekemaya, we thought, okay, obviously the water is not very deep. We didn't realize that until the part of the leg was very deep. We wanted to jump into the water to cool off. A Bascoil came out from the heaven and said, don't go off over here. A carpenter lost over here his axe, a metal heavy piece, 7 years ago, and he never even got to the ground yet. So imagine how deep it is. Says the Gemara, it's not only because it was so deep, the radfimaya. Also, it was there was big currents inside. So if it would be calm, so the metal could sink down quickly, because the current was moving around all the time. 7 years, it never got to the ground. Omar Ravashi, who is this bird that they saw is this Shaddai? Who? The chsiv is this Shaddai Modi, it's a type of bird, and it says in Modi, it's with me in the sky, so that's what it means. Omar Rabba Barbar Chana Zimni Chada, one time Abba Kaznim Bamidboro going in the desert, Chazinun Anu Abzi. We saw these type of ducks, type of avozim, goose. The Shamti get fayu mishumnayu, they were so fat, they couldn't close their wings. The Konagdi Nachle de Mashrim Tutaya, and they was dripping with oil coming out of underneath him. Aminelu, so we asked them, Islu begavaychu chalkal alma dosi. Are you meant for us? Are you here for Lo'ilam Abba when the Jews should eat when Moshiach comes? Chododoli, Gatva Doli Atma, one moved its wing a little bit and one moved its leg, trying to say, yes, we are meant for that. Kasoli Kamedi Rabbi Lozo, when we came in front of Lozo and we told him, Omali, he told me, Atidim Yisrael Litin Alei Masadin, we are going to get punished for that because these goose are getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and they're suffering, and they're just waiting for Mashiach to come, and we're not doing enough work for Mashiach to come. So from here we can learn that we have to do more ishtadlos for Mashiach to come. Siman ka'afra tachilta tarkiya karva lesalti. V'omar Rabba Bar Chana vim nechada ave kozlim b'midbar. We're going in the desert. V'itlavi ba'adon autaya. We had this Arab like Bedouin going with us. They have a shokil afro. He would take earth from Morachle and smell it. V'omar ha'uchle duch the plan, ha'uchle duch the plan. From the smell of the earth, you could tell what the directions to go. Aminele, we told him, how far we were from water. Give us some earth and I'll smell it and I'll tell you. Avinele, we gave him the 8 parasols from water. Taninan v'avinele. So we continued going, and after a while we asked him again, and we gave him to smell again, and he said 3 parasos away. We turned over the earth, we gave him the earth from the old place, we played around with him, we tried to trick him, and he always knew correctly because he really knew to smell and to know the distances. And all these Agadah is very interesting to understand how to look in them, to understand them like face value, or maybe there's a deep meaning in it, but I just explained the literal translation of the stories that we learned. We should all be zoiche to learn Amoiches Asfina, to understand it to the depth, to understand the Agadah and the Alochos, and to keep it and to remember it. Thank you very much.